Welcome to this session of Engineering Ethics, Unit number 2. It's coming under Professional Ethics 19 MC 801 students. And here we are going to see what are all the basic ethical nature of a professional. So, in continuation with Unit number 2, there you have seen uh, terminologies like loyalty, ethics, integrity. We have come to a conclusion that so we need to behave as a professional and getting elevated from being as ordinary person. So here we are going to understand this ethics, that is engineering ethics, in twofold. One such fold is related to ethics of workplace within the organization, and you can see in this slide what actually I'm trying to explain. The second fold is about ethics away from the organization, like related to the product or work which involves the transportation, warehousing, and use. The besides the safety of the end product and the environment outside the factory. So if you go and understand beyond and what is the content behind this, there is two ways and two approaches to further understand this. That one approach is microethics, which deals with decisions and problems of individuals, professionals, and companies, whereas macroethics, which deals with societal problems. So for example, global issues, collective responsibility of groups such as professional societies and consumer groups comes under macroethics. So in this connection and in continuing this discussion, to understand this ethics in engineering for engineers, rather for engineers for professionals, we are now going to senses. So there are two different senses. One is normative, another one is descriptive. So knowing moral values, finding accurate solution to the moral problems, and justifying moral judgments in engineering practice is the content under normative. So in descriptive sense, it refers to what a specific individual or a group of engineers believe and act without justifying their beliefs or action. Uh, to get into this, we have another content called moral issue. So there are several varieties of moral issue. If you go for the prime issue, that is taken as resource crunch, that is given as number one position, and the diagram which was being shown in this slide refers to the recent COVID pandemic resource crunch, that is shortage of medical supporting staff. So that was being taken as an example to understand one of the moral issue which is coming right way behind this senses of engineering ethics. So the other one is opportunity. So in those moral issues, opportunity plays a second role. So within crisis or the seeds of opportunity. So third is attitude. So changing attitude is the only key to deal with the change. So there are inquiries too to understand these moral issues. The three types of inquiries listed out here are normative, conceptual, and factual. So that is going to solve all these ethical problems that was being taken and being faced by an engineer, a professional. So normative inquiries seek to identify and justify the morally desirable norms or standards that should guide individuals and groups. It also has the theoretical goal of justifying particular moral judgments. So normative questions are about what ought to be and what is good based on moral values. For example, how far does the obligation of an engineer to protect public safety extend in any given situation is the first question taken to understand this normative inquiry. There is another inquiry to understand these moral issues to solve the ethical problem faced by engineers, that is called a conceptual inquiry. So it is directed to clarify the meaning of concepts or ideas or principles that are expressed by words or by questions and statements. For example, how a safety content is been related to the risk, and what is bribe and what is profession. So when moral concepts are discussed, normative and conceptual issues are closely interconnected, whereas factual or descriptive issue is aimed to obtain facts needed for understanding and resolving value issues. So researchers conduct factual inquiries using mathematical or statistical techniques. So these are the inquiries and types taken to understand these moral issues and the ethical problem in connection with to that. So in the next session we are going to see moral dilemma. Thank you for the time.